Hello everyone, so in this video we are going to solve a question of Leetcode, that is average of levels in binary tree. So let's start with problem statement. Given the root of a binary tree, return the average value of the nodes on each level in the form of an array. So basically in this question we have given a binary tree and we need to find out the average of each level, right? So let's see the first example. So let me just copy this example from here to here. Alright, so this is the first example, and in this example we have basically given three levels, right? This is the first level, this is the second level, and this is the third level, right? So we have given three levels, and if we find out the average of all these three levels, right? So for the first level we get average is equal to 3. For the second level we get average is equal to 9 plus 20 is equal to 29 divided by 2, that is equal to 14.5. Then for the third level we have sum is equal to 15 plus 7 is equal to 22, and 22 divided by 2 is equal to 11, right? So we got three averages here, right? These are the three average values of each level. So at the end we will just return a vector of, or we can say an array of, these three values, right? So this we need to do in this question. I hope this example is clear to you. Let's quickly see how can we approach this question. So let's see, to approach this question we are basically doing a level wise order traversal, right? So level wise order traversal is a technique to traverse the binary tree level wise, right? So let's see how can we do a level wise order traversal. So in the level wise order traversal we basically perform a BFS approach. So in the BFS approach what we do, we first create a queue, right? What is queue? Queue is basically a data structure which follows first in first out operation, right? It means FIFO rule. This is a first in first out. So let's see, if initially we push 3 as a root, right? And for 3 we check for its children nodes, right? So for this 3 we get two children, that is 9 and 20. These are the two children of 3. So for this 3 we get a level at 3, right? So let's say initially we get a level 3, so we can consider this as a level, right? Then we get two children of this 3, right? Two children of this 3. So we basically pop out from here, and now we have 9 and 20 in the queue, right? So for this 9 and 20 we again check for further elements, like we can say the children of 9 and 20. So for this 9 and 20, first we check for 9. For this 9 we don't have any children, but for 20 we have 15 and 7, right? So for this 9 and 20 we find out the average of this. So for this 9 and 20, because this 9 and 20 belongs to a single level, right? These belongs to a single level. So what we do, we just find out the average of these two values, and the average is 14.5, right? And we just pop out these elements from here, and now we have 15 and 7. So for this 15 and 7 we do not have any children, so we will just find out the average. So that is equal to 11, right? The average is 11 because 15 plus 7 is equal to 22, and 22 divided by 2 is equal to 11. So this is the level wise order traversal. I hope this approach is clear to you. I just explained this in a short because I hope you might already be knowing about the BFS or the classic level wise order traversal. If you do not know, don't worry. You can comment down your queries. I will try to explain it again. So let's quickly move to the coding part. Alright, so first check if root is not null, right? If root is null, then in this case we are just returning a empty vector, right? It means we do not have any averages here because this is a empty binary tree, right? Now we take a queue to store the elements. It is tree node because we are storing tree nodes in a queue, and let's initially push root into this queue, right? Now let's run a while loop until this queue is not empty, and let's take a variable int size, which will be storing the size of each level, right? This is a very important point. This SZ is basically storing the size of each level. Why we are storing this? Because we need to traverse through the level, as well as we need to find the average through this size value, right? So this is a very important thing. So let's take q dot size here, and let's run a for loop to iterate through this level, right? Why we are iterating through the level? Because we have already seen that for the each level, right, for each level, while going from this level to this level, we first find out the children of these levels, right? Let's say currently we are on this second level, right? So for the second level, first we traverse through 9. For this 9 we don't get any child, but for this 20 we get 2 children. So we just store these, or we can say push these children to a queue, right? So that is the reason why we are just traversing through this queue, right? So let's run this for loop. I is equal to 0, I should be less than schat, and I plus plus. All right, now let's check if, before that let's take this into temporary pointers. So that is equal to q dot top, and let's pop it out from here, right? Now also take a variable. Now we need to take a double variable, because we need to return our answer into a double value, right? So let's take a double, and let's take sum, because for finding out the average we need a sum as well as the total number of the occurrence, right? Like the total number of values in each level. So SZ, which will be storing the total number of values, and this sum will be storing the sum of all the values. So let's keep it initially 0, and let's increment this here. So sum plus equal to temp value, and let's check if it contains, right, if this temp contains any left or right child, so we can push this into the queue. So if temp left is not null, then let's push this into the queue. So q dot push temp left, and if temp right is not null, then push this into the queue, right? So this is temp right. Alright, so this is fine, I guess. At the end, just push this into an answer vector. So let's create an answer vector here, because we need to return an answer vector, a vector of double values, right? So vector double, and let's name it answer, and let's push the values into the answer. So answer dot push back, we need to store the averages here, right? So average must be in the double. So let's explicitly convert this, and this should be sum divided by SZ. SZ is basically containing our total number of elements, right? At the end, just return answer from here, right? So I hope this is fine. Let's try to run this on the sample test cases. Oops, we are getting an error. Let me check. So yep, it's not top. It should be front, because we are using a queue. It's a silly mistake. Yeah, it should work fine now. Yes, working fine. Let's just submit this. Yes, running fine. So let's discuss the time and space complexity. So the time complexity of this solution is bigger of n, because we are traversing through all the n nodes of the tree, and the space complexity of this solution is x. We can consider this as the length of, or we can say the size of each level, or we can say max level, right? The maximum value of this size should be the maximum space which this queue is taking, right? So I hope the approach and solution is clear to you. If you still have any doubt in this question, feel free to comment it down. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. I will see you in the next video.